Hey man, how's it going? This is WW Movie Maker. Um, I think I don't know if I can say WW Movie Maker or Movie Maker Talks, because I will be uploading this somewhere on my YouTube channel. I don't know about the WW Movie Maker, but probably on the Movie Maker Talks channel because this is not a wrestling video. I'll probably be uploading this on VidMe as well. Um, I just want to say, man, how's it going? Uh, there really is no news today on like literally no wrestling news. And so I decided that I was going to talk about something that I don't really discuss, or I don't have the appeal to discuss. And I don't want to come off sounding like an advocate or somebody that is informing you and being like those doctors or those teachers telling you to do something. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to sort of explain what this is all about in terms of what I've personally seen people go through and you know what other people have told me as well. This is just a video that I'm here to talk to you about, guys. Just because there's like a lack of you know news today, and I decided to talk about this specific topic because it is running rampant throughout the world, and it is something that is causing a lot of issues throughout the world. It's the issue known as depression. Everybody goes through depression. It doesn't matter if you are, as young as 2 or 3, right? At that point, you pretty much don't have any stress on your hands. But as soon as you understand what people are saying to you, you understand a lot of different things about yourself and people telling you certain things, and you start to understand it. Maybe you take it a little too literally, which I've seen people, do drastic things when they hear somebody, um, you know, or see somebody do that. Possibly get pissed off, a little too much, a little too angry. It steps up their level of intensity when they take something too literally, especially when somebody's making a joke about something, man. But we all deal with some sort of stress, whether it's from school, whether it's from work, whether it's from, you know, some guy you bumped on the street and you accidentally, knocked stuff they were holding out of their hand and tried to help them, and they gave you a snug look while you walked away. You might be stressed about that. I don't know. I don't know, man. But the really reason why I'm talking about this is because earlier today, I was watching a video that was actually uploaded a long, long time ago. Actually, last year, I believe. And it was just in my recommended page. And I wanted to see it just, because I didn't fully remember what the issue was. I'm pretty sure a lot of you must know who this guy is. He is a YouTuber, all right. He has a lot of success with YouTube. He's probably one of the top guys that I listen to every single day. His name is Matthew Santoro. I think you guys know who he is. He creates educational videos, and pretty much he's the guy that I watch. Like, there's a lot of guys I watch on YouTube, man. Like a lot of guys. I watch a lot of wrestling for sure. But he's one of those guys where there may be a day where there's like absolutely nothing to watch, and he always has something, and I'm right there because he's always I'm always willing to learn something, and I watch his videos to learn something new, and so he's really done a lot of good stuff, and it's already made my day every single day. I learn something new. If I go to school, I don't learn as much as I do watching his videos, right? Which tells you a lot about the school system. That's not the case here, but that's not the point here. But you heard his abuse story, right? I'm not here to react to that. Absolutely not, because that's pointless at this point. All right, it's no need. There's no need to react to something like that. You can easily understand what the point is from just watching it. So I was listening to his abuse story because I just decided, hey, you know what? Let me just see what happened here. Like, because I don't really remember a lot. It was in my recommended, um, and I decided to check it out. I saw some people, reacting to it, talking about their own stories, right? And I just felt like, you know what? I'm going to make a video about this because I just want to talk about something that is just running rampant throughout the world. It is, I'm sitting here thinking about topics to talk about when is a lot of topics right in front of me that I just don't see. And I'm here to tell you some of the things I heard people say, talking about depression. There's no doubt that what happened to Matthew Santoro was probably one of the most saddest things you could ever encounter. You listen to those things and you feel like, what kind of person does this? You listen to these types of things and you think, your initial thought is that, well, if men, tend to possibly, cause or abuse women, right? You tend to think, well, if women were to abuse men, men should take it and not be so scared about it, right? But I was watching that video and I was listening to reading some of those comments, not listening, but reading some of those comments, and there were people that legitimately said, you know what? If you encounter abuse from a woman, right, take it and deal with it. Here's the thing, there are a lot of people, that would say that men shouldn't be crying over these things just because they're meant to look. He stated this in his thing too, in his video, that they're just meant to be strong, right? But the thing is, I'm gonna tell you something. If you let's say if you are a buff guy, let's say if you are somebody who's strong and can withstand any physical pain that maybe your partner dishes out on you, right? Let's say you're on the computer, right, and you're watching something, right? You're just watching something, and all of a sudden you hear some sort of you got your headphones on, right? Let's say you're recording a video. How about that? All right, that's what I'm doing right now. Let's say you're recording a video, all right, and somebody opens the door and comes in with a weapon and tries to physically harm you. How are you? And you don't know, and they end up hitting you. How are you supposed to defend yourself, right? Let's say you're watching television and somebody comes up and hits a bat on your head, right? Let's say your partner has gone psycho. How are you supposed to stop that, right? A lot of people are like, when they see that happen to them and they feel the pain, they always wonder, what did they do wrong? What happened? Why? Right? A lot of the times people that are in relationships do this for money. Sometimes they do it because, jealousy, which is what happened there, and ultimately you get depressed. There is no chance in hell that you're going to be like, you know what, it's okay, I'm going to move on. You're going to be depressed for a long time. And, what I question is that depression is no joke, all right? Because there are people out there that make fun of it. A lot of people make fun of it. I was reading an article, about The Rock, right? A lot of wrestlers, man. A lot of wrestlers. I'm going to be using a lot of wrestling comparisons because that's all I know. The Rock dealt with depression, right? Now, I was too lazy to freaking watch the full video, but he dealt with depression. And I think I saw some clips on WWE on their network where he was talking about he didn't know what he wanted to do with his future, right? I think there was some sort of situation where he was locked out of his house, right? And, there was an eviction notice on the door. And he said, well, where are we going to sleep tonight, right? And from there on, he started changing his life. He had meaning, right? But you get depressed when you don't have a goal. You don't have, any focus towards anything, And, I'm not going to lie, man. I also get upset. I get upset a lot of times. I sit around thinking, I'm busy. I'm pretty busy a lot of times, right? And to be honest, I can tell you right now, when I'm busy, I like it the most. I absolutely hate sitting doing nothing. I mean, that's what happens over the weekends. And the weekends, I feel like I need the weekends, but then I feel like, okay, I got nothing to do. I feel like shit, right? I mean, sometimes I go out and, I go grocery shopping and I don't want to be there. I just want to be at home doing nothing. And that's because, you know, the repetition, the cycle. Sometimes doing the same thing every day makes you depressed, right? Sometimes doing the same thing every day causes you to say, well, if I keep doing this, what is the point of doing this? Why do I have to continue to do this? I don't want to do this. There is no meaning behind it. Bro, I feel like that every day. Every day. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, man. School, you know, it was never, and currently is still not the number one thing, right? I don't like going every single day. I really don't. Um, and that's mostly because of the fact that it's the same bull crap every day. And you think you come home and you get to relax when really no, you got a lot of stuff that you still have to finish, whether that's your homework, whether that's studying for a test, right? By the time it's like, nighttime, sun has fallen and now you got to wake up for the next day. You got to sleep and wake up, right? Which causes depression, you know. Um I also, sometimes sit around thinking about, what should I be doing? This is not what I should be doing, and I question myself. And it does not matter at all. I'll go do some of the randomest shit ever. Like I'll be looking for papers that I needed like, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that I had to hand in to somebody that no longer are of any value. Let's say a project or something that I, may have forgotten, and I look at it. I just find it just for the sake of doing something. You know, um, I would probably, be sitting around, and it's Sunday night and it's time to go to school the next day and there's nothing to do, and I'd be looking, scrolling through my on my television, and you know, or on YouTube or whatever. I may have seen a video like 5 or 6 times, and if it appeals to me, I'll just watch it again. Whatever makes you happy, whatever, right? I'm somebody who, is very involved with mixed martial arts. Very involved with that. I like fighting. I like doing that, And trust me, I didn't take mixed martial arts because I wanted to be an MMA fighter. If you think that's the case, please, man, do not think that's the case. I don't ever in my whole entire life want to go in that octagon. Okay, I'd like to, sleep every night knowing that my whole body is in one piece, right? That's something I'd like to consider. But mixed martial arts, it's something that, when you're in that competitiveness, and you're in that sport and you're focused on one thing, you don't think of anything else, right? You don't get depressed, right? It's all about um, being involved in something, right? And basketball. I have rarely any time to play soccer, basketball, any legitimate sport, right? Um, but I watch it all the time, right? And I'm trying to get into some leagues, right? But I don't have the money for it, so that money is another issue with depression. Yeah, and I also remember, now it's not really that relevant, but many years ago, your hormones start changing, and when your hormones start changing, you get these mood swings. Because I felt this, right? I'm not gonna forget this, man. I was sitting at a restaurant one time with a few guys that I knew, and some of my cousins as well. And randomly, this was a long time ago, okay? Randomly, just started crying, balls out, crying. All right, and this, it wasn't an issue. It wasn't like it was some sort of health issue that I had. It was the mood swings that everybody encounters. When you feel like there's no set goal, like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you get this break or something. For me, it never felt like I was getting a break. It was like, I have to go do something the next day. Like, same thing with going to work or going to school. Like, Sunday, I don't even want Sunday, cuz you know as the clock keeps ticking, it's closer and closer to Monday, and I got to wake up and go to school, and I don't really want to. And that's how I used to feel. I felt like, I don't want a break. I don't feel like having a break. And when I would have a break, I'd be like, no, I don't feel good. Like, I don't really want to talk to anybody. Right. I went excuse me. I just went all balls out crying. Right. Sorry for my voice. I just had something to eat, and that's why it sounds like I'm about to throw up, but I'm freaking full right now. So sorry if I'm talking like this. But back to the point, I was balls out crying, and my my friends were like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" They tried to pick me up and take me back to the car. I had my hood on. I did not say a word until we got home. Until I got to their house, and then until I got back home, and when I went to sleep in the next day, I did not say anything. Nothing. I don't even remember what happened the next day. But I remember that distinctly, and I was like, what the hell is going on, right? I remember my mom speaking to my teacher about this, and then she said it was hormone swings. She told me to take some sort of, I think there's a tablet. I think it's called vitamin C or something. It helps, structure your bones or something. It makes you, I don't know, something like that. She told me to take that. It helps your brain function or something like that. Like, I don't exactly remember. I don't take it anymore, right? And it wasn't a pill, right? It was a genuine thing that you're supposed to be taking, your multivitamins, right? And so I remember that, and so that's one part that I remember. I think it was mostly because I again was distancing myself from a lot of people and a lot of things. Now I got this YouTube channel. I'm involved in a lot of things, bro. I talk to, I what I do is I'm trying to talk to absolutely everybody, and trust me, I am not a good communicator with people that I already don't know. I try to act as if I'm somebody that is like, fuck it, I'm going to go to somebody and I will talk to them. But to be honest, I'm somebody that may as well sit in a group that I don't know anybody and be fine with it and just not say a word. But now I've stopped that. I don't even give a shit how annoying I am. I randomly say some sort of bullshit that tends to piss somebody off in the group. But I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to keep my mouth shut here. No, not again. Not again. Right? Um, uh, you know, uh, whether that's getting a job or volunteering or something, social communication is important as well, um, and at the time that I felt this sort of mood swings and stuff, it was mostly when I was along with a lot of other guys, being teased a little bit, like being bullied. It's not really bullied, but I was one of those guys that I explained to you in the beginning of the video where, I couldn't take a joke, right? Just not. No, I took it literally, and that habit is something that I to this day, is trying that I'm trying to remove, because I realize that habit needs to go if you want to, may have friends, because it's 2017. People are gonna make jokes. It doesn't even care, man. You're wearing those Jordans from last year, and you got like a little bit of like your shoes falling apart a little bit, or whatever the case is, right? They're gonna start roasting you, man. It doesn't matter, you got ripped up jeans, and you're wearing a a Toronto Raptors hat. You're gonna get roasted. It doesn't matter. You're gonna have to realize that you have to deal with it. And I decided I got to do that, right? Play a lot of video games, right? I do a lot of this thing in my free time, and right now, life is going good, but it's bullshit because I still have to do the same thing every day, and I find these little nuances that I can change up in my life to make it better. And one of those things is YouTube. I always Now I have a goal every day, something I like to do, which is YouTube. You know, I'm slowly going to get back into mixed martial arts, hopefully. As soon as this weather, this week was supposed to be spectacular weather. Finally, we're going to 30 degrees Celsius. God bless. So that I can, because during the winter, I normally take my bike just for extra exercise, right? I like exercising, and I couldn't, right? And so Okay, driving is also wasn't really safe. It was a horrible winter. So the summer's here. It's time to go back to that shit and time to get back in action. You know, so now it's been fine. You know, I do a lot of things around around the house and around helping out people. But I mean, I've heard a lot of stories where people just can't communicate, right? And that is what I still have not understood. Well, I mean, not understood, but I still don't know how that works. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say that because I actually know how it feels when you don't want to talk to anybody at all. Like sometimes I still do that. Sometimes I'm like, and it's usual for you to just say you don't want to speak to anybody, and that's fine, right? But when you're somebody who's sitting in a corner all day doing absolutely nothing or doing something that nobody knows, somebody's gonna get concerned for sure, right? And that's the case. That's the thing that happens, and so that's the most difficult part. When you don't feel like doing something, I think what you need to know is, or how to make yourself do something is find a reason why you're doing it. If there's no reason why you're being forced to do this, don't do it then. Think of something that you find a reason in doing. All right? Sitting on your laptop all day, do you find any success in? Watching YouTube, is there going to be any success, doing that? If not, don't do it. You're going to watch some educational videos. You're going to watch a movie that you like. You find any interest in that? Watch that. Do that. Do you find any success in it? Do you learn something new? I don't know. Go out and go do something. Like, I don't know. Go with some friends. Play some sports. Is that going to be success to you? Yeah, you're going to get some physical activity. Get some pumping and iron there. Join a gym. How's that going to be success to you? You're going to work out. You're going to get some muscles. You're going to get physical body. Going to school again. A lot of people don't like that. Think about it. What is that going to give you? It's going to give you a career. It's going to give you a career that you can, put your whole life into as school ends. Right? You got to think about that. Always think about it. And trust me, man, I don't want to do shit. Bro, I don't want to freaking go to school. I don't want to do that. That's what I said all the time. And people be like, "No, you got to do this. This is you got to make a career out of this." And I was like, yeah, but look at those people that dropped out, in not high school. That's like in college and didn't do college, made a career living for yourself. And I'm mostly talking about wrestlers in WWE, because that's the only thing I compare it to. And I'm like, look at these guys, they're in professional wrestling making millions and, they didn't go to school, right? And then, my parents were like, well, not everybody gets that success. And I understand that. And I realize there's more to life than just one thing, than going one path. You got to get multiple paths, I heard people, and there, a lot of speeches I heard throughout my life, whether it's in school or, listening on, on the radio or whatever. A lot of people talked about their issues. Some people talked about saying where, um, they they couldn't necessarily do anything and they didn't want to do anything, right? Because it's the motivation. I see this. I seen this difference. I've seen this difference when you go from elementary, where all the teachers care about you and you got friends and it's a small school and everybody knows you, to high school, where it's a huge jump, where teachers don't care about you. They're not going to motivate you. You do it yourself. There are those students that are good students that need that motivation, that when they don't get it, they don't want to do it. And when they don't want to do it, well, your marks suffer, you get depressed, right? That's what happens. I've been through this, man. I know this. And some people that do get the motivation, they end up, doing well. Yeah, a lot of people that don't care about it, like, at all, like people that care about it but don't get the motivation, right? They're the good kids. People that don't care about it at all are the ones that end up, you know, going the path that your parents forbid you to go to, and that's the thing, But if I'm gonna quickly summarize and just end this off. I'm just here to talk to you guys about how depression is an impactful thing. You should not joke about it. If you have issues with it, just understand that it's a normal thing in people. All right, depression is normal. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure animals deal with it. I'm pretty sure bears, cows, goats, lambs. I'm pretty sure every single type of animal deals with depression just as much as humans do. I heard that depression, it starts at a really early age, almost at around 11 to 12 years of age. You know, which again is an unfortunate thing. Starting that early, if a kid is not in the right mindset, it affects them very easily. A relationship with your parents needs to be good. A relationship with your friends needs to be good. Again, going back to the idea of Matthew Santoro, where he lost everything, right? I think you need to understand at what point you are starting to lose everything and be like, no, I can't do this anymore because those are the people that I grew up with. Those are the people that I knew. Those are the people that care about me the most. Even if I don't understand the fact that, excuse me, understand the fact that those people are what you need to be concerned with, not anybody else, right? You need to keep them in your life as long as you can, right? And that is the unfortunate truth. That's the truth that some people find unfortunate because they're like, well, we don't want to do this, right? I think you need to surround yourself with those people that will make you do this. All right, it's a serious issue. It's something that I had to talk about because of all of these stories that I just read in one day talking about it. Because when you're bored and you're surfing the internet, you got something, you find something unusual that you just decide, you know what, I can relate to this. I know a lot of people. I can make this into something. And I feel like I made this into something for you guys. I explained to you, that this is not unusual. This is usual. Don't fear, but try to fix. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for listening into this video. It's a very long ass video. I was supposed to say ass long. What the hell's wrong with me? But all I need to let you know is understand that again, that you know people that will care about you. You know people, and you may not know it right off the top of your head, but there are people, all right? It's the same thing. It's a usual thing, and it happens to everybody. Just make sure that you are trying. You are trying to look for that goal at the end of the day, because if you can't find that goal, ask somebody to help you, all right? It's a thing in our DNA. Like, humans can't survive without social communication. I don't know if you learned that in school or not, but humans need social interactions, right? And that's all. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for my next video. Again, this was just a video, and this went very, very long, longer than I expected. Again, when you don't have WWE news, when you don't have wrestling news, this is what you can expect on this channel. Random rants about random things. And, hopefully all of you are having a very, very wonderful weekend. The week starts tomorrow. Get ready, man. Get ready. I'll see you in the next video, man. Stay chill. Stay cool, man. Peace out.